Okay, hey, it's Mick here. This is the after action review for Wednesday Night Drags, November 4th, 2020, okay? It's one of the last couple races of the year, and I brought our good buddy here, Saran Lightby, okay? So, I have to say, it did really good tonight. So, today was kind of another strange kind of day, weather-wise, okay? It was about 80 degrees in the day, and then it kind of dipped down to like 60 at night, but there was like no wind the whole day almost. There was a slight, there would be a slight headwind at times, and then it would be like no wind. Like towards the end of the night, there was like no wind. You could see all the tire smoke and stuff just kind of lingering in the air and stuff, and yeah, so that's what happened. So those were the kind of weather conditions that we were racing in tonight. Okay, so I got the Lightby here. Okay, yeah. So the reason I didn't race it last time was because one of the bearings went out on the jack shaft. So I went and replaced the jack shaft on this bike, and then it's good again. So anyway, but the last time we raced, I took the impulse out. Okay, and now the impulse is in the shop. I'm trying to get some kind of battery thing fixed on it, you know. And Polaris is not one. They say the bike doesn't have any warranty, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that bike ran great too. So anyway, this bike ran great tonight. I think I got my fastest time tonight. Yeah, I did. I looked it up. I didn't know it was the fastest time, but I looked up my YouTube video of like my fastest run on this bike, and it was like a 17-second pass. And it did I think it did a 17.8 or 17.9 or something, and I did a 17.645 on this bad boy. Okay, so we're like in the mid 17s almost. So actually, let me get my time splits out. Okay, so yeah, the bike was running good. Also, this is the first time I've run the new firmware. I think it's a RC. Oh yeah, so it's a RC 6.45 Delta D, okay? So that's the latest firmware out. I'm not gonna lie, the NXT display is still a little wonky. When I had installed it, the bike was running perfectly before with the previous firmware. The only thing is you couldn't adjust the current, okay? And now you can kind of adjust the current, but not really. It's still kind of messed up. And now it's even worse because I can't even adjust the field weakening properly. So I have to kind of play around with it and hit save and play around with it until I can get the setting that I want. And then I can't get into the backdoor software anymore because the password changed. So I was like, oh, it's so annoying. Basically, when I get it the way I want it, I'm not going to touch it anymore, okay? It's just going to be like that forever, okay? So yeah. But anyway, I got it to, it's at max 16,000 watts power. Oh, I forgot to check all the stats after the runs too. And then it's at a 421 motor current, okay? That's the dealie. So I had it set at 430 before, and it was running fine, good and strong, and it wasn't stuttering or anything or cutting out on me. And after I updated the firmware on it, it started stuttering and stuff, even at 430 amps. So, like I said, it's hard to adjust the NXT display, the motor settings. So I took it out for DoorDash the other day, and then I was riding it, and I was like, well, man, I don't know if I want to drag race this thing because it stutters when I get on the throttle really hard. You know, when I do a hard launch, it stutters. You can feel it like cutting power a little bit and cutting power. I caught it doing that when I was riding it off road too. So I was like, oh, what a pain in the ass, dude. But what was it that happened? Yeah, so I had it at 428, okay, and it was running okay, but it was still stuttering. And then I I was able to adjust it to 421, and then it worked fine. Okay, so I had no stuttering at all. The bike works perfectly. Okay, so that's 421 was the magic number, and I think we were running 40% field weakening on it. Okay. One thing I did notice is the speedometer is off by a little bit. It says we're going like 60 miles an hour, but when I check the time slips, it says we're going 65 or 66. So maybe I might need to readjust the speedometer again. But I notice at higher speeds it's off a little bit. Okay, but like 5 miles an hour, that's not a little bit, that's a lot actually. Okay. All right, so let me just get these things in order, and we're gonna go through what happened today. Okay, so we got there pretty early. Weather's pretty good. It was warm in the beginning, and it got cold. Daylight savings happened, so it's actually an hour later in the day than normal. Okay, and it just got dark really fast. Obviously, with daylight savings, so that's what happens. You know, this time of year, days get shorter. You know. So first pass reaction time 0.080. Really good. Really good. Anything under like 0.1 is good for me. That's all I can tell you. So that was a pretty good reaction time. The other dude's reaction time was 0.997. I raced this guy. I forget his name. If I can figure out what his name is, I should have probably just asked him. His name is really bad at names. Okay, so if I forget your name or whatever, it's not, you know. It's just like I'm just slow like that. Okay, but anyway, it was a dude racing a Triumph Daytona. Okay, that's a fast little bike, I'll tell you that. And he was running what, 13s, and yeah, his reaction time was 0.997. That's not so good. Okay, he was having all sorts of problems with his launches and stuff. So yeah, you should be able to beat him, right? Hey, Mega. Well, we'll find out. All right. So I'm not going to go through all the 60 foot and 1,000 foot. I'm just going to go through the times. The first run I got 18.029. Okay, not bad. You're just knocking on 17, and I know this bike can do 17. So I was like, okay, whatever. I think that was probably the windiest. That probably was the windiest part of the day, and the battery was like fully charged. So. But tonight was an odd night, I'll tell you that. And then we did that pass at 66.34 miles an hour. Okay, so yeah, that was the first run. That's like our baseline for. And then the second run rolls around, and I get a 0.023 reaction time. Holy crap! His Mega's doing some really good reaction times now. Okay. 0.023, that's probably one of my better runs on this guy, okay? I'll tell you that. And then we had a 17.915 ET. Boom, we're in the 17s, okay? And then at 64.15 miles an hour, okay? And then about this time, you know, there's a teeny tiny little headwind. Yeah, so that's probably what slowed me down a little bit, but I got faster, okay? So it's like, okay, cool, we went faster. So third practice run rolls around, and I got a 0.036. Still really good, Hades Omega. You're doing a great job launching that bike. Okay, so here's where it starts to get kind of funky. So I don't know what it was, but the bike just went fast all of a sudden. I could feel it, like when it took off, I felt like a big kind of burst of acceleration after maybe like 15 feet. Okay, I was like, whoa, the bike just got a little bit faster. I don't know what happened there, but we ran a 17.684 with that reaction time of 0.036. That's a very good run. And little did I know, that is the fastest pass that I've done on this bike ever. Okay. 17, we're almost mid 17s, okay, and at 65.7 miles an hour. Not bad for the teeny tiny little light bee, man. Yeah, I'm just nailing those reaction times. But the thing is, we're getting faster. Generally this should not happen throughout the night, especially electric bikes. Electric bikes usually they get slower because the state of charge gets lower. And I didn't bring the generator or the charger this time. I didn't have gas for the generator, so I said like, whatever. We just run the battery down. You know, it's all right. And so anyway, so that's our first 3 runs, and then eliminations. Okay, the first round of eliminations comes around. Okay, so for the first run, Hayes Mega got 18.029, and then the second run we got a 17.915, and then the third run a 17.684. I'm Hayes Mega's just like, what the heck, man? I just keeps on getting faster and faster. It shouldn't be happening, and like I guess the wind just started dying down, or there was like a kind of slight crosswind, but the wind was just so steady, like still. Yeah, just the wind was just so still the whole night, man. so like everybody was going faster, I'm thinking, you know, but yeah, so I went fast on that last run, 17.6. So I was like, well, what do I dial in? Are we gonna go fast again? Because the state of charge is starting to get, it's like at 80, 82, 81 volts so far. So I'm like, well, you know what? Why don't we just split the difference? Hayes Mega's gonna split the difference. So I ran a 17.684 and then a 17.915 for the second run. So I said like, just put somewhere in between. So like I put 17.7. Okay, that's pretty close to 17.684. Okay, so eliminations. First round elimination. Hayes Mega dials in a 17.7. Okay, so like the last time Hayes Mega kind of second guessed himself, and I changed my dial like right before I got up there, and then what happened? And then we ran. We ran. I don't remember what happened last time with the impulse, but yeah, we ran pretty close to our dial in, but we would have ran better if I had put the original dial in. So I said no, 17.7. Don't mess with it. Okay. That's what I think we're gonna run. We're gonna run around 17.7, and then, you know, tell you the truth, the guy that I was racing, he was still pretty, you know, not the best drag racer. Okay, he was having trouble with his launches and stuff, or his bike has been acting up and stuff. But he's been getting consistent ETs, so that's a good thing. He's got half of the puzzle down. He's just got to get his reaction times down, which are like pretty freaking horrible, because you'll see here. Okay. So I dial in 17.7, and then I run. Oh, hold on. I dial in a 17.7. Okay, boom! I take off. All right, and I'm going down the drag strip, and I was like, oh yeah, I think we did okay. I felt like their reaction time seemed okay. You know, I deep staged and all, and we took off. Yeah, you just have to keep on doing what you're doing, Hayes Mega, and you'll be fine. Well, sure enough, we did what we were doing. Sort of, kind of, and then so we're getting close to the finish line, and then I kind of look back and like I'm expecting this Daytona to just come blasting right by me like normal, you know, and nothing happens at the finish line. I was like, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, he's way the hell back there. I don't know what happened, dude. And so it turns out he stalled the bike on the takeoff, so he kind of flubbed it, and. But he freaking won, okay? He won. You want to know why? Because I dialed a 17.7 and I ran a 17.645. I broke out, man. I broke out by 0.055 seconds, okay? I could not believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I broke out, man. So what happens when you run a time faster than your dial-in time is what's called breaking out. And you pretty much immediately lose once you break out. It's like kind of like in pool when you get when you're gonna sink that last 8 ball in the pocket, and then you scratch, you lose, right? Well, that's like breaking out. Okay, it's exactly like that. So I lost. So immediately, if you break out, you lose. Okay, if both of you break out, then whoever breaks out the most loses. Okay, but if you break out and the other guy didn't break out, you lose. The guy that broke out lost. Okay, so that's me. So I lost. Even though I was like super duper close to my dial-in time, had I dialed in like a 17.6, a 17.6 would have been the safer choice. And I think I should have dialed. I know oh, I don't know, man. I thought he was gonna run a good ET. What Hazelmega thought was gonna happen was like, oh, my reaction times are really good. My launches are really good, much better than his. I've raced him 3 times already, and I know my reaction times are rock solid. They're good, much better than his. So I was like, as long as I don't break out, as long as I don't break out, I can beat him with my reaction time, because they have factor in your reaction time. That they add that onto your difference, okay, from your dial-in time. So I was like, yeah, I can probably beat him on the reaction time. That's, and he had like a horrible run, and he looked really disappointed when he passed me, but he still won. That's the first time this has happened, okay? So I broke out, and the other guy performed like horribly. He was like way back there. Can you believe it? In that race, a Sur-Ron Lightbee beat a Daytona down the drag strip, okay? But I broke my dial, so I lost. So in a way I won, in a way I lost. He lost because he stalled it. That's what happened. Okay, so he ran a 17.507. He was still faster than me. That's a funny thing. He's still faster than me by a little bit. But he dialed in a 13.46, so he was off his dial by like a good 4 seconds. He was 4 seconds off. That's how bad a run that was, okay? So that big gap, 4 seconds, while I was off by like almost like by 0.055, but 0.55 plus, okay? So not minus. So yeah, I lost. So Hazelmega got taken out in the first round again. I hate it. I hate it when I lose in the first round, because I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. Okay, but the bikes performed spectacularly the whole night. Okay, no hiccups, nothing. The bike just got faster and faster throughout the night. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, this bike is running really good tonight. So yeah, all the tuning and stuff, it's working pretty good. And this is the first time I've run the Synergy heatsink mount. I don't think it made a difference, man. A quarter mile's not enough. Not enough time to heat up the controller like that. You'd have to just constantly be on it, and it's just not enough. So really, the heatsink didn't make any difference. But I did run my fastest time that night, and I was getting some very good reaction time. So I'm kind of happy. Okay, the bike ran excellent, and Hazelmega did a great job. Except at the end, except during the race where it counts. But so had I dialed in a 17.6, I think I would have. I'm pretty sure I would have won. I would have won by point. Because like if I didn't dial a 17.7, I would have dialed a 17.6. That's what my guess is. That's where I felt like I was gonna run. Okay, and we were just shy 0.055 seconds. Okay, 55. Hundredths of a second. Oh, I can't believe it, man. So close, lost so close, man. If I was just so Hazelmega kind of has to get into this. So what can we do better next time? Okay, this is what Doug was telling me. He told me, like, yeah, man, when you get to 1,000 foot, like Hazelmega is not that good at drag racing where like I can judge how fast I'm gonna run. If you're really good, you can tell, like, oh, I feel like I'm going to break out, I'm going to slow down. That's what a lot of people do, especially when they run against a slower bike. Basically, you just have to cross the finish line before them, but, like, be really close, Hazelmega, basically, once I go down that drag strip and I pin that throttle, I hold that throttle down until I pass the finish line. That's what happens, okay? But other drag racers will let off at the end if they think if they're in front. If they think they're in front, it's kind of hard to do with the Lightbee because you're in front and you have to look back, But that's what Doug told me. Doug told me, like, yeah, at the 1,000 foot line, you should look back before you get to the finish line. Look back, see how far they are from you. If you think they're going to if you think they're gonna pass, if you think you're gonna break out, you know, if you think that they're gonna pass before you, I think, or something. So see, Hayes Mega's not good at this, but like you look to see how far they are. If they like, so in this situation, this would work because see, he messed up. He messed up like big time, 4 seconds. Okay, 4 seconds off from his dial. So Hades Mega could have just, you know, just went half throttle after like 1,000 foot, and he would have won. Okay, because I wouldn't have broken out. Okay, so Hades Mega just has to get in the habit of looking behind me, you know, at the 1,000 foot and see how the other guy's doing, you know, because like I was waiting when I got to the finish line. I was waiting for him to blow past me. That's usually what happens because I have the slowest bike. Okay, so he would blow past me, you know, and then that's what happens. So, but it's kind of hard to tell. But you just have to pass the finish line before them without breaking out. So it's kind of tough. You have to be able to just feel how fast your bike is going, you know, by looking at the speedometer or something, you know. But yeah, but like I said, in this situation, that would have saved me because I could have looked back. I'm like, oh, he's way back there. I don't think he's gonna catch us. But it's kind of hard to tell. Some of these bikes they're really freaking fast, so it's hard to judge. But I would have seen, he screwed up his start. Okay, well then I'm just gonna let off. I'm just gonna let off a little bit just to make sure you know, we don't break out. So because immediately once you break out, that's it. You're game over pretty much. Unless the other guy breaks out, you know, and then like they break out more, then yeah. So but if you know, it's like paper, rock, scissors, you know. Breakout is scissors, and then not breakout is rock, right? Well, rock always beats scissors, right? So it's kind of like that, you know. Once you break out, you're pretty much lost already, you know. I guess if you do a double breakout, it's like doing 2 rocks, right? Yeah, I know this is a weird analogy. It's like 2 rocks, so it's tie, right? So you Rochambeau one more time, right? And then like whoever's got the closest time, you know, to whoever got closest to their dial wins. Okay, so yeah, that's the way bracket drag racing works. So yeah, Hades Mega has to get better at judging how fast he's gonna go, and like, I guess if I'm racing against somebody that's not as experienced, I should look back and see how the other guy's doing, because like, you know, there's been, I think this happened to me before. I think I was racing Craig or something. Yes, that's right. I was racing Craig Love in the Triumph, his Triumph Speed Twin, okay, and I did the exact same thing. I think he did a wheelie on the takeoff, and so he got like a horrible time, but I broke out and I lost. So yeah, actually this isn't the first time this has happened. So okay, yeah, so that is one of the improves in the AAR. You need to look back, you know, just take a quick glance and see how the other guy's doing, you know, when you get to the end. You know, I don't think it's going to slow you down too much if you do a quick head check, you know. Like, oh, he looks like he's way back there. Let's let off, you know. And then yeah, you're guaranteed to win, because like I totally dropped the ball there, you know. I was so close to not breaking out, you know. Had I just slowed down a teeny tiny little bit or braked, you know, we would have won. We had a 4-second gap that we had to play with. That's 4 seconds is an eternity in freaking drag racing, I'll tell you that. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the end of the AAR. It was a short race. I think, and then there was a bunch of races. There was a lot of people tonight. Yeah. And I think that dude lost the next race, the guy I raced against. And then Doug got taken out in the semi. No, he got taken out before the semifinal. So I didn't get to race Doug again. Joe wasn't there in the Hayabusa, and then Matt with the Z900 won that night, and against, I think his name was Troy in the Harley Davidson. So it was a Harley Davidson versus a Z900, and then the Z900 one. He's pretty good. I raced him before, and he's pretty good. He knows how to ride that bike. So yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed. There was a lot of people tonight, and there's a lot of kind of newbies and stuff. So I was like damn, I could have beaten some people, man. Like one of these days, Marlon's gonna take home that first place trophy, but it's not gonna be tonight, unfortunately. There's another one next week on Veterans Day. Well, maybe we'll see if we can come back and take home a trophy. It would be nice to take home a trophy. We'll take it to Lightby out there again, okay? Since it's running so good. But I got a hare scramble race this weekend. Hopefully we don't break the bike. that's what I don't want to happen. I hope I don't break the bike. But we'll come back next week, and then we'll see what we can do. All right. So yeah, that is the AAR for Wednesday Night Drags, November 4th, 2020. Eliminated in the first round by breaking out. Okay. And then the other guy just messed up a whole lot, but I still broke out and I still lost. So it happens. All right, Hayes Miguel, you gotta look back and see how the other dude's doing. You know, especially if they're not. Yeah, no, like the last time this happened, yeah, it happened against Craig, and Craig is actually really good. So yeah, you know, we're human. That's all I can tell you, man. We're human and we make mistakes. So. And that's what makes racing interesting, right? All right, here's the big out. All right, here's me here. So it's like the next day, and I'm just kind of thinking about that race. I'm like, I'm kind of bummed that like I lost that race. but just think, I was just thinking in my head, you know, just think about it this way, Merlin. You beat a Triumph Daytona, you know, you crossed the finish line before a Triumph Daytona. So just think of it that way, man, okay? I may have lost the race, but you crossed the finish line before a Triumph Daytona. And on a Sur-Ron Lightby, oh might I add. On a Sur-Ron Lightby, a 17-second bike. So don't beat yourself up too much about it. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be the name of the video, like Sur-Ron Lightby crosses finish line before Triumph Daytona. It'll be kind of like a gag video almost. Alright, let's hang out.